Oh. Ooh. Okay. Ryan said we can hear everything, bathroom included. And we are live.
Your sound is on.
No, mine is off. I'll turn it on when you play the video. No sound. Oh, well, you know what I love? Brian is writing me, and he's like, we hear you. You're live. We hear everything, bathroom included. And I'm like, it's not me. So I don't know who was in there, but I just want to make it clear that it was not me. Was it you, Seth?
Unless you pee standing up, it might have had to be me.
I think it was you. But here's the funny thing. I had a Zoom call today with Barb Badalamenti, and it was so wonderful. Remember, we sold the half-hour Zoom calls on the show we did on hypnosis. And so Barb Badalamenti was one of the people that bought one, and we had such a fun day together on that phone call, and Kylie Catlett too. But you know what Barb said? Barb said, I just love, it's so fun to watch the show, and I can tell how much you and Todd love each other, and just the way you look at each other, and the cameras pick every little thing up. And she said, and the show starts, and you guys are just talking and whispering, and she found that to be kind of amusing and entertaining. So I hope that today's whispering and whatever else went on.
Well, it's a mixture of reality show.
I always thought we'd make a good reality show because
Now you
of
see,
all the stuff that
my
goes on.
camera is too close.
But see, is it?
Well, it's cutting my head off, you see.
Oh, yeah. But I like it close.
Well, I'll have to go zooming out. You just
No,
tap dance.
I'm good. I'm as close as
I
I
zoomed
wanna
you
be.
out already. Now I'm going back to zoom
Thank
me.
you. Hey, everybody, and happy Saturday. We're super excited. Ryan's here. I'm here. Seth's here. Todd's here. Is Kyle here? I think Kyle's here. Yay! Kyle is here. And what I'm really excited about is in a few weeks for Easter, they're going to be here. Ryan and Kyle are coming out, and we're going to be doing some awesome things. It's content time, and we have some really fun things planned. But mostly, I'm so happy because I just get to spend time with two of my favorite people, and it's going to be great.
Seth and I, is that what you meant?
No, well, you're two of my favorite people too, but Ryan and Kyle. I don't get to be with them in person as much as I'd like to, so I'm really excited that they're coming out. So tonight, we have a very exciting show. It's going to be really probably more Todd driven because he was there for this magical time. What do you mean no?
We like it when you're in.
Oh no, I'm in, but you know, I think you're going to drive this jet because this is the time that you all spent in England, where all of the interesting things happened with you in your youth, and it's a good thing I'm not sensitive or jealous or anything like that. Honestly, I've never known a jealous moment in my life.
Somebody asked me that question. They said, is your wife okay with you talking about all of this stuff and having all these pictures of all these other people?
Who asked you that?
I can't remember, but I remember saying, well, she's never said that she didn't like it.
Well,
Let me ask her. And the camera close up. You've been asked. I hate it. I resent this.
Okay, no, let me just say what I think about that. First of all, we did not meet until we were, 50, right?
What?
Yes.
I thought.
And so
wow.
here's
I'm just catching up.
Here's the thing about that. A person had a whole life before you. And, that includes husbands, wives, kids, girlfriends, and all that. And also, so unless someone is, you think, opining about this person, all the time and all that would be different. But just because somebody has a history, so do you, by the way. Oh, gosh, what was that? What was that?
It doesn't, nothing. It does.
Did it break?
Yeah, it had some value at one point.
But did it break?
I don't know.
I don't even know what it is.
It did.
Oh, it broke?
Well, the glass, so it doesn't matter because it didn't hurt. It did not hurt.
You're
hearing
the glass just getting
sound effects. Sound effects.
SFX. I know, and not to mention you're standing in front
Let's see if I can not
You're
get
standing
cut.
in front of my camera, sir. Thank
Well,
you.
I have
You
to
see?
not get cut.
But anyway, jealousy is an interesting
here.
thing. I wouldn't wish it on anybody because it is. I did.
Do you have it or just not have it?
What, jealousy?
Yeah, are you predisposed
No.
to it? Is it the way society
well,
rolls?
like everything else, and the people that watch my Friday night show know that everything is learned. All behavior is learned. Everything is learned. We come into this world, we know nothing.
So you're saying that you're, I gotta switch.
And you learn it.
You're saying that you're not born
with an emotion like jealousy.
a propensity to become jealous when you see something on social media about your spouse or boyfriend. You're not born with that gene.
No, you learn it, and it is usually, there's two things that I think. I don't want to sound like a know-it-all, but I am very fascinated by and made my second half of my life all about, things of the mind. So, and I'm well educated about that. So, but I also have my personal feelings about things, and I think jealousy is something that is learned. Yes, I think it is. Two things cause it. Mostly. I don't even know if it's 50-50. What does it matter? I just think two things cause it. One, you're with a person that wants you to be insecure, and if you are insecure, you are with that person. If you were secure and with somebody trying to make you secure, that would never work out. So you kind of have to look at yourself and go, what's happening here? Is it me? It's you 50%, because we sometimes choose the wrong person, and a person knows your weakness and they prey upon that. But most of the time, I think it's really that we aren't secure with ourselves, and we learned that jealousy somewhere in our childhood, growing up, or at some point in our life.
Yeah, but don't you think that sometimes the spouses, can give people reason to be?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But then you're not with the right person, are you?
No.
Because it doesn't have to be a spouse.
Because that's almost like a game, right?
Well, it is a game.
The jealousy game.
And it's a terrible game. But I will say that there are some cultures that I just thought of this. This is very interesting, actually. There's some cultures that lean into that. The Latin culture leans into jealousy. That's a very normal thing for them.
I kill you.
I kill you. And I do think that it's part of their. It's so in them, for so long, and learned culturally that they need it, because it adds a little bit of drama. And so there are some cultures, and some personalities that are into drama and into chaos and that sort of thing. They kind of can't function without it, which of course makes you dysfunctional to begin with. But, you know, if you don't mind it, I guess who cares? But I don't know anybody that's jealous and insecure and happy about it.
And speaking of dysfunction.
Yes. Why?
We have a story tonight.
We do. You know, and I think dysfunction is entertaining. Because,
Well, it's functional dysfunction. Don't
Yeah.
forget, we're a professional level dysfunctional family,
you know,
highly level.
Let me tell you, when I came into this family, I remember thinking, wow. I mean, and I would ask you, has this always been like this? Has this
And I said,
person
like
always been
what?
like that? And you said, like what? I'm like, okay. Angry, you know, I just ticked off all the, you know, these things. And I realized that within a pretty quick amount of time that you had grown up in chaos and you had grown up in dysfunction. And that to you, that was normal. And I will tell you.
Well, I could offer you the flip side of that is
Okay.
that I grew up in a normal environment. All of the rest of you grew up in something else.
Touche. That is
No, the reason why I'm
true,
saying
yes.
this is because the question I got growing up all the time from the press is, what's it like to be in this family and all that, you know, and I would just say it's not like what you see on Leave It to Beaver. Now, on the other hand, you could look at Leave It to Beaver and say that's, you know, below the scale of the normal, you know, living in that
Yes.
thing, and so I just set my new standards. I live in the benchmark of normal.
Well, you see, the problem is, and people that grow up in chaos, you know, we talked about the subconscious
Is there a problem?
and subconscious mind. Yeah, it is a problem because you'll choose it every time over something that's actually good for you because your subconscious
Do you
mind
think that I do
is
that?
running the show. Oh my gosh. Let me just tell you the little ways that
Can you put it in a song?
I could.
I would feel better about it.
But you and your mom and Carrie had all something, well, lots in common. But the thing you had in common, you know, was that you all loved to be in bed on your days off. So you conduct your business in bed. We take meetings. I don't as much because you see, I get up and I need to get out because I need sunlight. I need, you know. But you guys could stay in a dark room and be in bed and take every meeting in person. Stuff's in my camera.
Oh, yes.
That's okay. You could be in every meeting, you know, in person or on the phone. You work in your computer. Your bed is your office. Carrie was the same, and your mom was the same. And so you, to this day, take all your meetings in bed. You take all that's your office, even though you actually have an office, a whole office here.
I do?
Yeah, you do. So
I think I saw that. Where was it exactly? My office? It's somewhere.
It's
in
upstairs.
It's in the house somewhere.
Yes. But here's the thing that I noticed. You also all watched TV at a deafening level. You also all needed the TV on at a deafening level to fall asleep. I think that that's chaotic. That's just me, but I do think that. And I think that you
Well, I would make
need
it, I would
that.
just say that having classic movies on in the background when you fall asleep,
At
as
a
opposed
deafening
to
The
the
news.
news is far better.
I will give you that. I really will. I will give you that, and I know I'm guilty of watching the news.
I didn't
before
mention
I
your
go to
name
bed.
at all. Where did you get that
I
idea?
cannot fall asleep with the TV on at all.
Oh.
I need
You
quiet.
do it all the time.
I need to calm. Well,
Here's what
after 15 years
let
with
me
you,
show you-
I have had to learn.
Okay,
because-
here's what I see.
No, this is what you do, and men do this to other women too. I know they do because I talk to them on my Friday night shows. You guys are the king of the telecommander, as
Well,
we
that's
call it.
as God intended it.
There you go. You are in charge of the telecommander, okay?
Did you
Now-
read in Leviticus 13:12 about the telecommander? Man,
But
You didn't hear about that?
You put what you want on, and we're there, and there's bombs going off, and war movies on, and you know we're just like, can we just watch something funny for? And you're like, I want, this is what I want to watch, and we go, okay. Now, women, I'm telling you, if I'm not lying about this. I talk to so many women about it. So you go and you put what you want on, which is really nothing we want to watch, and then you fall asleep. But we don't know it because we're either like daydreaming, we are in a vacation in our mind
I rest
somewhere.
my case.
Yes.
These soothing movies about survival of man and love and war and peace, all of that is soothing and relaxing, and you drift off into conscious knowing that man has survived all of that. So what could possibly go wrong
But then
from here?
I'll be in there and I think, I just cannot take another minute of this. And I look over to say, please, can you change the channel? Or can you, I remember I got you the what do you call the headsets, so that only you could hear the TV and then your wife could be in peace. Well, those never come out. So I go to tell you or beg you, one or the other.
And I'm out.
And you're out. And
But
you've
what's-
been out. You've been sleeping for half an hour and I'm
What's
watching something
and
I
so
don't
I
wanna
ask
watch.
you on again officially, what is the telltale sign that I'm out?
That you're out?
Yeah, what's the giveaway?
I will hear the gentle buzz that
No,
some
forget
might-
the buzz. What
No,
else?
it's not
What else?
snore. It's
What
not a
body
snore,
language?
but
No,
it's-
but what's the body language?
You're on your side.
There it is.
Yeah. And I hear the buzz. You're on your side.
There's
and
a
I hear the
message when I
buzz.
roll over on my side. It is
It's
just
over.
a
It's
matter
lights
of
out.
time.
Yes. No, it's. Last night we were watching The White Lotus,
Yes.
episode 5, which, oh my gosh, it finally. I almost stopped watching the show.
think
I was
it's-
so
is it-
nonplussed
yeah, it's
by
fine,
it.
yeah.
And then I read my friend Richard J. wrote on Facebook, OMG, I'm watching episode 5. I'm 16 minutes out. I'm so stressed out because of what, all this. It's finally hitting its
Chaos.
stride. And
I want in on this conversation.
okay, are you in? Me too. Come on in.
No, I'm kidding, but we're going to discuss this.
Well, there you are.
So,
You're on.
You're on, Ryan.
I put you on.
There you go. You're
don't-
up.
there you-
Okay. I have been binging The White Lotus all day today.
The new season?
I finished season 1 a couple days ago. I'm on season 2, and I'm so into season 3. I'm waiting for tomorrow.
Well, was episode 5 the last episode? Because that's what I watched last night.
Episode 5, if you're
Season
talking about
3.
the crazy episode.
Season
3, episode 5, Yeah,
Yes.
that's the episode.
Right. Well, I will tell you now that I was so nonplussed with this season that I read Richard J's post and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to watch. I wasn't going to watch the last season 5, but means episode 5. But it's so good. And you fell asleep. I heard you buzzing. I couldn't believe it. He was buzzing, and I'm like, what?
Once
How
again,
can you sleep through this? It's
even
so
in the
good.
case of this madness that was on that you're discussing, that all looked like my house when we were growing up. The guy, if you just wait, break it down. The man, Harry Carl, is one of those guys because the FBI is investigating him for these gambling things, because he got ripped off.
Put that up because that's really
okay,
Yeah,
so
so we can. Hi, Kyle.
What do you want?
There you go, so we can see him. I love being able to see the boys.
Well, I mean, you want me to continue or no?
Yeah, I want you to continue, but we can just hear you as a voiceover, and the 4 of us are on there.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, Harry Carl would be one clear example of mass chaos, just like the White Lotus, because the phones are ringing, it's creditors, it's the feds. I mean, what was the difference? Harry Carl is that guy that's losing his house. Remember he said,
Yeah.
am I going to lose everything? That was Harry Carl. Now, I mean, so there we have it. I mean, it's just this is a new version of a Harry Carl story without cell phone.
what?
No cell phones.
That's the tame storyline, let's be real.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
obviously, we don't know where this is going. But you're right. Ours is even wilder, because we've got the manicurists polishing nails and other body parts. We have all of these various characters coming and going that are, I think, as interesting as White Lotus.
Did you see the ending of the episode, Todd?
Oh, no.
Okay, wait a minute. I saw the ending. But I don't think that was the last.
no.
I don't think that was the last episode of the season, Ryan.
No, it's the most recent episode. There are 3
Yes.
more left.
Good, because we need a lot of things to happen between now and the next 3.
I think a lot more is going to happen.
But I was starting to feel that stress Richard J. was talking about last night when I was watching this, and that's when I heard the.
It's also, when we start really late, it's hard to get through it, especially since my excuse in my defense, I'm on East Coast time because I was on the little boat trip in the
You
Caribbean.
know what? You had a vacation of a lifetime while I was slaving away in Texas.
Well, somebody's got to pay for this lifestyle.
So here's the thing.
If I'm going to go
Also,
fool
I'll
around
give
the
it to you.
Caribbean and not work, you have got to stay home and work. That's the way it works.
But here's what I want to say. I'm so glad you got to take that vacation. I'm sorry that I missed it. But I'm so glad you got to do it. But in your defense of falling asleep during the White Lotus last night, while you were gone, the hot water heater went out of the house, and there was no hot water, and I was begging, Now, and my husband, who is one of the things I love about him so much, no, you don't call the hot water heater company. Oh, no. Something breaks, you're going to fix it yourself. And how you know how to fix all these things is beyond me. But he took all day. It was a lot of work.
Well, it was
early in the morning.
but it was
till last
because
night. So
we
you were
needed parts.
tired.
We had to have parts.
Yeah.
And there were things that had to happen in the middle, so we spread out the repair job
Yeah.
all day. But the truth is that my grandfather, basically said that there is no word can't, and if you really want to do, there's won't.
But where did you learn how to do all
Well,
this?
now a lot
This
of
is
what had happened to the water heater was an electrical issue, so it's in my wheelhouse. Now, I didn't know that's what it was going to be, for sure, but it had signs of that, and so it turned out to be that, and I just rewired the whole thing. And while we were at it, we replumbed it a certain way so that next time.
But when the septic goes out, you fix that. When the well goes out, you fix that.
Well, I learned how to do all that, and when I didn't know how to do it, I would either read up on it or I'd go find someone who did, and I would learn from them, and then next time you could do it yourself. I like being independent. I don't like relying on contractors and vendors that have a propensity to rip you off. I don't like arguing with people over unreasonable prices, and that's what you get when you don't know anything.
Oh, yeah.
And when you go to the car dealership, you're at an extremely heavy disadvantage.
Sorry about that. I'm just cheering you on because I want to see what people are, saying. Hey, everybody!
Well, I assume
this
that
is going to be
Seth
fun.
can tell you what's.
Seth, what's going on out there in Cat and Todd world before we get started?
And then, hello, America. See, I like this because the lighting is dark.
You're in the shadows.
I'm in the shadows, like Gloria Swanson. This, like Joan Crawford. This is wonderful. But let's see, who is here? Oh my God, Frank Ferruccio is here. Mary Mason.
Now,
is here.
Ferruccio has a jealousy problem, and he is
They're
so.
saying my mic is low.
Okay, but Ferruccio texted me, and he
Just talk louder.
said.
Oh, loud.
Put it up close.
Everything's coming up around.
That's right. He was talking about how, he has to be number one, and, he's making a joke about that, which I think is great and funny. You are lucky to have a Mr. Fix-It. Let me tell you, Marcia Dodge, don't I know it. It's one of the things that I fell in love with about Todd is that he can fix things. And he's also very technical, and he also, I love that about a man. I really do, because I've had my share of people that don't know how to do any of that. And,
Well,
I don't know why it means so
You
much
know
to
who
me,
the
but it
king
does.
of I can't do anything?
Yes, I know many.
No, but who's the king? Your brother. He wins the award hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
I have never known anybody who is incapable of doing so many things in so many different categories.
Well, that are important to know how to do, but to get
Right.
through life.
So
Yeah.
there used to be, I don't know how to program the VCR. That was where this all began, But then as the world got more complicated, but your brother, he has a long, long list of I can't do something.
Yeah.
And I wonder sometimes if he does it just for attention.
No, I think that people learn that too, I mean, some people do have learning impairments, but I think in his case and in many people's cases, and it's not uncommon, and it's neither good nor bad, it just makes life more difficult for you and some of the people around you. But, we also learn that. And sometimes people, when they're brought up and they're not made to do things for themselves. I mean, your grandfather took you
Oh.
to task on all of that. And, you know, but when you have to figure things out for yourself, I was an unsupervised kid for the most part, so I had to figure things out fast, and I knew that as a kid, and it served me well as an adult. But my brother was doted upon, and he, you know, my grandmother raised him and was very, very, did everything for him. And so when I see parents do that, especially when their kids are young, or then they turn into teenagers, and you start to see, they may think they appreciate it now, but they will hate you for it later. Because
They're handicapped.
because they're handicapped. And they don't learn how to be men and women and solve problems that happen in life, and we're all going to face them. And so, you know, it's like you're not doing your kids any favors by doing everything for them. It kind of makes them helpless later on.
Let me just say that for somebody who was falling asleep and not really feeling that she could be overly involved in the show, I want to say what an amazing job you've done. And you've had
Bouncing back.
bam!
I know, before the show I was
The lights went on.
I was like this. I don't know if I can
I
do
can't make it out.
I'm so
I
tired.
can't make it to the stage.
I
Carry
can't.
me out.
Can someone put on my shoes? And now look. But you know what?
Did you get into the caffeine?
I did.
There you go.
I got into the caffeine.
It's just a little delayed
And
reaction.
I figure I got about 2 good hours in me, and after that I'm going to be a grouchy.
Well, that's why God invented
Crash is coming.
That's why God invented Grubhub and other forms of delivery.
Exactly. Anyway, I don't know if Liz Cochran is watching tonight, but if you are, I miss you so much, Liz. We haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, and I miss you and your doggies coming over. So I know she's been working a lot of hours, but if you're watching this, I miss you. And so come see us soon. Bring the dogs.
What should we be? Do we have? We better.
Yeah, we're going to get going now.
Get into the show.
Yeah, we're going to
Oh,
get in.
we're doing a
half
show.
an hour in. We keep saying
I-
we're going to get into
is
My
there go-
script is back here.
No, but there is a show planned.
Whose
And-
mic isn't working?
What do you mean it's not working?
Okay, Todd will get on it, and I'll start the show here.
I think I have to work on the water here
Right.
too.
So we are going to be talking. So tonight is going to be really fun, and in the spirit of this, it's when Debbie and Carrie played
Talk
the
in the mic.
Palladium. Let Seth test his mic.
Your mic is not turned on.
You know, when the mic isn't turned on, it does make a difference. So, all right,
Yeah, there's no light. Though.
is it on now?
If there was a light, your battery's done. You see?
Okay, so I'm going to keep going, even though everyone talks.
Well, you
as
can
if
handle
they're
this
in
stuff,
their own
too.
little world over there. I know
See,
how
I don't
to
know if
stay
those are old or
focused.
new. We better-
And so here we
sure
go.
you do.
Tonight's
I'll
show is
take
going to
new
be
for
about
sure.
when Carrie, Debbie, and Debbie played the Palladium. And Todd, of course, they went over. Todd, how old were you then? Maybe 16?
In you mean in England?
In England, yeah.
16.
16. All right. This is going to be fun and interesting.
Well,
There's
what
so
did you
much
just say? I
happened.
was over there
I was just
twiddling
saying
around with.
this show is going to be about that tonight, and you're going to see some really cool footage and hear a lot of cool stories. And yes.
We have my mother telling parts of the stories.
Oh yeah, I know. Seth did a great job with that video, which is great. So, but in the spirit of that, tonight's special show sales are all on the DR Studio Store website. So it's called the Debbie Reynolds Studio Store. Is it the Debbie Reynolds, Ryan, or Debbie Reynolds Studio Store?
Do you want to put the batteries in backwards
Debbie Reynolds
for a reason?
Studio Store.
Debbie Reynolds Studio Store, and I have it up on the screen if you want to.
Okay, go
show
ahead.
people.
If you want to put the screen on, that would be great. I will just put this in my lap. I've got everything under control here, as you can see.
Okay, so now we have Seth's microphone.
Would you put that up on the screen?
Was that the
Todd,
was that
will you
that?
put that up on the screen? Thank
What am
you
I
very
putting?
much. This, so we can get, because you guys are just talking away like, you're in a room by yourself.
He's batteries were
I
dead.
understand, but when I'm conducting a show, if you wouldn't mind just a little bit, I'm going to turn into Alec Baldwin's wife right now. Did you see that footage? The meanest person probably in America is Alec Baldwin, as far as like how he can be towards the press and towards people, and he's just, you can tell he's got a mean streak a mile wide. But boy, to that wife, she just butterflied him in front of cameras. It was pretty bad, and
Sounds like what he needs.
And he just like this, like a dog that was getting yelled at. And I thought, isn't that interesting? That you know, I've met him. He was
know,
very
it's-
nice.
it's
But when
the
I
taming
watch the
of
way
the-
he is with people, I'm
It's
like,
the taming
wow.
of the shrew.
The Taming of the Shrew.
That's what that story is.
Yes, but it was hard to watch. But I get it because you know you guys are talking away and I'm trying to move the show forward. And so what? Here we go. We have some cool things on on DebbieReynoldsStudioStore.com, and they all have to do with what's going on with tonight's show. So let me now get to it.
There it is, right there.
All right. So you're looking at it.
You can
Debbie
see it.
Reynolds Palladium show, program, and book of personal photos from the London trip. We're going to go to Todd
So
right
I'm
now.
holding it,
Okay.
and then I can go over here.
Oh, look at that little book.
Isn't that cute? Now
is
look,
so
if I go
cute.
to the close-up camera over
Yeah.
here, now
That
you
little-
can see it there, and you see it has some miniaturized version, you know, of the poster and the whole spiel.
I love that. What's in it?
Now that's the secret.
No, it's not a secret. If people want to
What we-
know, they need to know.
What it is, we decided, since we're going to tell this story tonight about the London Palladium, we would then include pictures that I took, and we made it into a little book, and it has little pictures that I took of my mom and my sister. You can see back to close up here. You might have them on. Oh, they're upside down. Okay.
There you
That's the
go.
way it goes. All right. So these are pictures of Carrie and her at the Palladium. This was the rehearsal, dress rehearsal, like photo shoot, and I did the photo shoot with my camera as well. And speaking of that, I actually brought, now that's Carrie's camera that you're seeing there, but I brought my camera that I took those pictures with. See, Cap?
Oh, that's
So-
the very camera.
The actual
You're
camera.
a very good photographer and have been since you were a little boy.
So there's the close-up camera. That's the camera that I used, and the lens, by the way, because it was a short telephoto lens. And that's what I used to take all the pictures in this book. And there are different pictures. Excuse me, I'm doing the switching and everything tonight. So there are different pictures in the book, including some that are going to go with these stories, a lot of black and white that I did not take.
Cool.
So
book.
there's a picture of Bianca Jagger, my mom and I, and then there's a picture of Carrie and my mom and I, all from the same trip. So there are family pictures. Well, I mean, really they're press photos mixed with pictures that I took. So here's a cool one in black and white that I think is really cool.
There you go.
Isn't that cool?
That is a very famous picture. But that's a cool booklet. I love that everything in it is related to that very
Here's
trip,
another
that
one.
night. Was it one night at the Palladium?
No. She was there a couple of weeks, but there's another one.
Oh, that's so great.
So these are really pretty, and then and it's fun to have a little miniature of the poster. Now, would you give me the poster? I know we have that somewhere.
Right, but let's just talk about this because this is what
Well,
it
no,
is.
the poster is important.
No, I understand.
Give me the poster, please.
The poster isn't in the bundle.
But I want to see.
Of course, you can do it. Todd, guess what? You have a wife that says, do what you want, anytime you want. That's right.
But no,
Just-
but there's a reason. Give me, please. This is what this is. See, what I'm trying to say is this, and they're hard to come by, right? So this is the real
Yes.
poster from the London Palladium, and what we have put in the book is the miniature of this. You understand why I wanted to show it?
I do.
So this is this.
I understand. And what you don't get in this bundle
Is the big one.
is the big one. You get, what do they get? They get the...
You get the book.
The,
Oh, but there's packages of
yes,
stuff, right? Oh,
there's
okay.
5 of these, see, available.
All right.
And the book, the program, and the book. So you have to show the
Well,
program.
now the
'cause
program,
the program comes with the book.
right? Now this program is rare because this was the early program, so this is hard to come by. We don't have very many of these. In fact, I kind of think we might have overdone it a little bit on what I gave up. But at any rate, I think you have 5. Okay, so we found maybe 10. But this is the early program, and this is what would have been available at the time of the Palladium, because we wouldn't have had a different program yet.
I'm a program freak. I collect them. I love them. And her programs
So this is
are always
a
good.
rare. See right there. It's got Irene. I'm showing it right now. So she just finished doing Irene. So this is the program that would have been made for this next vaudeville show, which of course was the show that really started at the Palladium. And then I just had a show and tell item. This is not for sale because I don't have any of these.
Yeah, but that's a show and
here's
tell.
a really cool little ashtray
Oh,
from
I'm
the
so
London
glad that
Palladium.
didn't break. That didn't fall and break. That would have possibly made
It
me
says
cry.
it says here. I think this is really explains all. The world's ace variety theater. That was their choice of wording. Don't you think that's interesting?
Yeah.
So they put this in here. The famous London Palladium, the world's ace variety theater. Now I said my mother does, vaudeville variety shows. So
Yeah.
this is truly
Isn't
what they
that
wanted to
interesting?
see. They wanted a vaudeville type of show. So
Well, I just walk in those footsteps too.
well, you can switch gears just as fast as she can.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that interesting? Because I never did that when I was younger. All I ever did was act. And then
Oh.
later, when I wanted to retire, I didn't want to retire completely because I'd lose my mind, and ended up doing what would be considered vaudeville in the old days.
Well, mentalism and all that is
Yeah.
vaudeville to the max.
To the max.
Now I've noticed over here, not that one. Here is now he's showing another lot.
Okay, but let's just go over real quick so
this-
people.
this
wait,
is
wait,
the
wait,
lot.
wait, wait. I know. Lot 1 is the book that Todd just showed you, which he will sign on the air for you, and you get the program and the book. And there are 5 available on DebbieReynoldsStudioStore.com during this show. So you have only during this show to get one of the 5, and it's $75 for the book that he just showed you, which he will sign, and also the program, if you want him to sign it, definitely that he will.
Now
on
the
air.
program is rare. That's why the price is higher than our normal program
Yes.
stuff. So
Well, yes.
I just have a comment really quickly, too, actually. One for you. Someone says that your singing voice is beautiful, and they wish you would do that in your act, which I agree.
I do.
Well,
My new show, I
but
do.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't. You haven't debuted that yet.
No, I haven't, because the sound, and you know what? I think I will do that this summer while I'm out, because,
didn't you do it on the cruise ship briefly?
Oh yeah.
yeah, I do it once in a while, but I have a new show that I'm writing that I want to do here in Vegas, and I do sing in it with the mentalism and to further the story. So, yes, I thank you so much for the compliment, by the way. Thank you very much.
And then I just also wanted to make mention that these London Palladium, the booklets that we designed, are just for this show. So this is it. It's limited quantity. So once they're gone, they're gone.
So
These little
okay,
guys.
there you go.
Yeah,
So-
now this is there's only one of this lot.
This is one. It's the
Okay, so
finest.
this lot is unique because we found this picture of which I just broke the glass, so you don't have to worry about getting glass. But this has somebody I'm saying made this for my mother some time ago, but you notice it's got a picture of the Palladium, and
Oh,
got
that's so
a picture
cool.
of the poster.
Yeah.
The
That's a very
card.
cool piece of art.
And it's a vintage picture. You see the old cars from the turn of the century.
Yes.
So it's a really neat piece. This was hers that somebody made for her, that it's framed. You don't have to have it framed if you don't want to do that. But anyway, it's a one-off. So in this case, what they've done is they put together one package that has the book plus the framed picture. Is that right? Okay. So that's an unusual one. There's only one of those, needless to say. So that was that. And then was kind of cool, we brought, just for show and tell, during this same time frame, these were Carrie's little shoes.
Little?
They're high, but
You
they're,
could fall off of those.
Yeah,
I
but
will
look-
admit, I did have a pair like that.
but look how little
Yes,
they are
I
this
had-
way.
I used to wear platforms like that in the 70s.
Well, these are size 5. But anyway, they're little kind of hip little shoes. But this is what she was wearing during these days in the pictures you're about to see. We're out in town, and this is kind of her favorite shoes. So that's part of our show and tell, is like a pair of her shoes.
Size 5.
Also, this was her, and this was her camera. In that picture, you can see how those.
Yeah, so it's, look, you have his and hers cameras. Hers
Well-
is a Konica and yours is a Nikon.
Okay, yeah. What happened was we went to the camera store, Jack's Camera on Little Santa Monica in Beverly Hills.
I remember it.
And it was a famous little camera store, very small. And he originally set us up with 2 different types of cameras based on his, advice. So that was her first camera and pretty much her last camera like this. Whereas I moved on. This was not my first. This was actually my third camera that I used by that point because I was into it. Thus, why we're doing the books and all that.
Yes.
Okay, so I think.
So what's the second bundle?
Oh,
So that
here.
Now I'm
Well,
confused.
wait, let me
I can
s-
only imagine.
Let me say one
Okay,
other
let's
thing.
just go through it one
There
more
I
time.
am
Yeah.
in Africa with that camera.
Oh yeah.
I was
look
trying
at
to find a
that.
picture of me with the camera, so that's me with the camera. Okay, what did you want to say?
All right. So Seth, you want to talk about that bundle?
Yeah, so I was just going to say, just so we have it cleared up for everybody. So
Yeah.
on the DebbieReynoldsStudioStore.com, we only have 5 of
Yeah, there
these
you go.
bundles available of these fantastic little booklets that we designed just for this show that Todd will sign for you in the air at the end of the show if you'd like. And these are all, they're 10 photos, and I think 7 of the 10 Todd took with that camera he's showing us. And they're available with the program on DebbieReynoldsStudioStore.com. And then we have the one bundle with the Palladium art piece with a little book that you'll get as well.
Right. And
That bundle's sold.
Oh, well, there
okay.
we
It's
go.
gone.
Which bundle? The first
There you
one?
go.
The big
This one.
Oh, that
The
one.
frame.
Okay, and in the
Yep.
notes when you purchase it, or please let Ryan know if you want Todd to sign it on the air. And
Well, I'm not going to. I'm not. I
no,
would
not that. But
No,
it comes with.
I would
something.
sign the book, but I would
Yeah.
not want to. I
No,
would
no, no,
sign
no,
the
no, I
back for you,
gotcha.
but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, somebody went to a lot of trouble here. This is really well done, and somebody went to a lot of trouble. So I don't want to mess with this, but I would happy to sign the back if you want.
All right, and before I forget, and we are going to get into the heart of the show right now, I just want to say that there's a claim sale tomorrow on the Debbie Reynolds Studio Store Facebook page. Is that that's the correct way to say it, right? So if you don't belong to the Debbie Reynolds Studio Store Facebook page, you just go over there and ask for permission to become a member of it, and Ryan will make it so. And then we have really fun stuff that's going on.
Have you got a
over there.
preview of that, Ryan? Is this a preview?
I do right here.
Yep. So these are the
A few things.
tomorrow that will be. They're called claim sales. They're not auctions. They're
That's
claim
a rare
sales.
one. You see that?
Yes.
45.
A signed 45 of Tammy. That is awesome. A pair of Debbie's shoes. That's on the claim sale. Oh, a King Kong
How big is that
piece
thing?
of art. What is the size on that?
16 by 20. And
That
this,
is
I
gorgeous.
tell you, I recently found these, and we found a couple of different subjects, but this one, of course, I love King Kong, but it's printed on silk
Yeah.
and then stretched on a wooden frame like you would canvas, but it's silk. And I'm going to show you it again. It's really cool. Oh, can we go back to that just one sec?
Yep.
I mean, look at that. I mean, somebody really got carried away on this thing.
I just think it's awesome.
It's very, anyway, it's avant-garde.
Yep,
maybe.
so that'll be on the claim sale tomorrow, and like several other things. I don't know if there's one right there. That is,
So that's the stage script from the Unsinkable Molly Brown tour of my mother's.
Wow.
Plus the Unsinkable Molly Brown, is that like the program, not a program, but that's like the,
That they had in rehearsal, so with all the music.
okay, so this was all the rehearsal stuff that would have been handed out to the chorus and all
Yep.
the players. And then there's some pictures from it. Then there's a lot, okay, well that's
and
fine.
the next one, this is all on the claim sale tomorrow. So
That's a press kit from Mother the
from
movie.
Mother, which I love that film.
So that's an original
So
press
that
kit.
is a claim sale item tomorrow.
Oh,
And
that was so my mother had a little collection of dolls, and as you all know, she loved clowns in particular, so she had some different clowns. So this is one of her dolls from her personal collection. Now, I have no idea what the history is, other than it's been around for a long time. This thing's old, but she's had it for a long time. So I have quite a few of her little, you call them dolls, but she loved clowns, so there's a separate little clown collection. So you could find full porcelain kind of dolls, and you could find these kind of dolls. And then you could find monkeys. She liked monkeys. I have no idea why. And then Carrie went on to love, if you remember, monkey art, paintings of monkeys and such.
Yes.
So that was handed down generation to generation.
right? And,
I think that's it.
That's it. So tomorrow's claim sale is going to be really fun on the Facebook Debbie Reynolds Studio Store Facebook page. If you don't belong to it, you should. It is just a fun place to be, and we have fun little sales there. Of course, all the proceeds from the things we sell here go to, and the money I see people are donating right now as you're watching on YouTube, and we appreciate that because that goes to running this show, which is no small thing, as you can see how many of us it takes to do it, and so we appreciate your donations so much. And all those little donations add up, and we appreciate that. And the things that we are selling go towards the legacy projects that we have here, and so we really appreciate every one of you for that. Now, let's get into it because this is going to be a fun show, and I'm going to let Todd take over for the most part, and it's good. So, do you? I think I have the script. You don't.
Drizzle, drazzle,
Drizzle
drazzle,
thrown. Time for this.
There was a time
to come home. Okay, so here you go. Todd
Well,
talks about
all
London
right.
Palladium and brings up.
So when I took those
video.
pictures
There
that
you
we
go.
were just talking about,
Yes.
it was so it was 74, and my mother said, it was summer of 74. That sounds like a movie unto itself. And my mother said, I want to do the Palladium. She had finished Irene. She was looking to go back to her vaudeville show. And so she took this job for a few weeks at the Palladium. In fact, if we look at the poster, it probably tells the dates on here. There we go. Opens the 30th, and it never closes. No, it closes August 17th. So it was basically a little more than 2 weeks. And so the idea was that we would, now Carrie and I, if you think about it, just before this, we were in her show, and I was playing guitar with Carrie. And my mother said, well, we'll go do that again. And I was like, yeah, but I would like, if we're going to go to Europe, I want to backpack around Europe. So I'd like to get a Eurail pass, and Richard Landers and I will go around Europe. Now, I've talked about that on some of those stories on the show. So we did. We got first-class Eurail passes, and I kind of rejected being in the show. And my mother didn't make a big fuss out of it, for me. So she allowed me to not be in the show. Carrie went on to pick some new material, which one of the songs that she chose is no easy song to sing, called Meantime. And she was really starting to become a belter. Like a lot of people say, she sounds like Judy Garland or Liza. To me, she doesn't, but she's a belter like they are. She's got a very unique voice because it's a hybrid between my mother and my father and a lot of things.
And belting is hard.
But she loved to dig down deep, And Carrie had received quite a bit of training, from my mother's setting up different things for her. So they worked on this show, and I decided I would film around some of this stuff. So what you're going to be seeing tonight for the first time ever is footage that I shot in 16 millimeter of the show itself, including Carrie's segment of her singing. I'm not going to run the whole thing. Hopefully we'll save that for a channel later where we'll have much more in-depth stuff. And some of the footage that we filmed around town, including Debbie arriving and Carrie arriving. And we were both allowed to bring a friend with us on this journey to England. Carrie brought May Quigley, who's still, a beautiful, loving person. May was one of the people in Carrie's life from school days that never abandoned her even though times were tough. There were a lot of fair-weathered friends that Carrie had, and I would call them. And then there were others that were loyal no matter what. And even if Carrie was wrong, that was fine because we would forgive her and still love her and be her friend. That is the prevailing philosophy, okay? But there were others that wanted nothing to do with her because of political reasons and other people.
Yes.
So needless to say, May has always been cool. And May was there with her, and you're going to see some footage of them getting out of a Daimler, which is a British limousine, a Daimler limousine. And of course, they're arriving at the show. Now, I've also told stories on this show about how the press made a big deal of me and Bianca Jagger. And so you're going to hear some of this from my mother's perspective, which is unique. Because I told you the story basically that when the opening night occurred, I was waiting for a car, and I was standing with Bianca Jagger. I had just posed for some pictures with my mother and her, which is in the book, by the way. So we were doing these press shots, and all of a sudden, we found ourselves standing out on the curb. Close-up camera, I have to switch to myself. So there is Bianca and my mom and I. So then it was just Bianca and I standing at the curb waiting for our cars. And the press was taking pictures, and she kissed me just because the press on the mouth, like in like, grand style,
You mean like a makeout kiss?
like a big kiss,
Like a French kiss?
like a French kiss.
Oh.
And I didn't know her at all, so I had to actually. At first, I was thinking about recoiling back.
Was she still married to Mick Jagger?
Yes, they were still married, but they were famously broken up.
Recoil is a strong word.
I was seriously like, whoa, what is this? But I had to control myself and stay in it because I felt that it was in my own best interests.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I hung in there with it, and I was glad I did because she's was very good, not as good as you, but she was a very good kisser. And then she said, why don't you come to the party with me? I got in the car with her in her limousine, and we went to the party. Meanwhile, they were all coming to the party late. My mother explains this story very differently. The funny part is my mother acts like she invited Carrie and I to the party. Now, there was a general invite for all of us, but Carrie and I, as most teenagers, don't want mommy at the party at Mick Jagger's house because we know it's going to be a wild party.
Is that like akin to when you don't want your mom to drop you off at school? So you have her drop you off a couple of blocks away so that kids don't see your mom drop you off?
Okay, now absolutely. And in this case, most of the time Carrie and I didn't agree on these things, but I totally agreed with Carrie that it would be best if mom were possibly not going to come to this party. But she does.
Yes.
And we all sort of come differently. But it's funny, you're going to hear my mom explain all of this from her perspective. But I arrived with Bianca, and I met up with Carrie and Richard, and everybody came. And I found myself, walking through this, what would be equivalent of a brownstone, New York, very large kind of brownstone thing in London. And at the second floor, there was a big dining room table that was filled with different kinds of drugs. And now, Carrie had just found this fascinating. I mean, we were all standing there. We'd never seen anything like it. So pre-rolled joints, cocaine, pills, things I'd never even seen before. It's like a table of drugs and other things. There was booze and other stuff. And we were like, wow, this is far out. And there was Keith Richards and all these people that, we grew up with, and Mick Jagger, and Mama Cass was outside. And I ended up hanging out with Mama Cass, doing one of the most embarrassing things that you can do. Now, I have done 2 times in my life, I have said really bonehead things, probably more, but these 2 stand out big time.
I know where you're going.
So the first one is, I'll just tell this one. It happened around the same time when I was just, I probably was just talking before I should have. So I was hanging out with Mama Cass, just the 2 of her in the backyard, nighttime, and we're hanging out in the backyard. There's music coming from the house. And of course, I said, oh man, I love your music, And she goes, oh, thank you, that's cool, What do you, what do you like? I said, oh, I love, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? She goes, right. Well, that was Janis Joplin, actually. And, I kind of went,
Oh.
I was about that big. By the way, she was totally cool about it. But I could tell like she'd gotten that one a lot.
I think that one is as bad as When Are You Due? I'm Not Pregnant.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. That happened to me, and I thought I have never said anything to anybody since.
Okay, so you did do that.
Oh, I did do that.
Now, the
once,
only
yeah.
one that I did that was actually worse than this was when I said to Lauren Bacall when I was a teenager that I loved her in Casablanca. And she informed me that that was Ingrid Bergman. And once again, I shrunk down to being very small. However, she was gracious, and we became really good friends every time I'd see her, she would remember that.
Yes.
When I saw her many years later in my 20s in England, she remembered it. We were sitting at dinner, and I reminded her of it. But I also reminded her how gracious she was to not say.
To not make
what
you
you do
feel
normally
worse.
is you'd say, well, that was Ingrid Bergman. You turn your head and walk away from that person. But she didn't do that. Anyway, you're going to hear some of these stories and more from my mother in a moment here on this video. So this is footage shot by me. The voiceover, is my mom talking and reading pieces of her book, audio recordings of that. They're also intercut with many still pictures, some of which are in the book and some that are not. And Seth did a really good job on putting all of this together with some music and making it fun. And so without further ado, is that what we're going to do?
Yes, and before you hit that button, hello, Scott Michaels, and welcome. We're happy to have you here. If you don't watch Scott's channel, it's Dearly Departed Tours with Scott Michaels. You will love it. Check it out. Also, he just said, Mama Cass was great. Never a bad story. And if anyone hears all the stories,
Right.
it's him.
Well, as I didn't say the rest part. Of course, she died that night. And I was
Oh, my
I was
gosh.
one of the last people to see her alive, and I did not remember. I didn't know about that till the next day. It was shocking. And I've told the John Belushi story. That happened to me. That was the first time it happened to me. John Belushi was the second time it happened to me. But that was the first time. I didn't know her. I knew John, but I did not know her that well. But it was still kind of shocking that I had been with her that night. It's a kind of an honor and also a dubious honor. Okay, so are we hitting this thing?
We are hitting it.
Hit it, dude.
Is there sound?
In July 1974, I was booked to play the Palladium in London. I packed up my kids, mother and daddy, and we all left for England. It was a great time for us. The promoters gave us an entire floor at the Savoy Hotel. Daddy wound up with this picture on the front page of the paper after photographers found him in a park near the hotel, dressed in a cardigan sweater and a baseball cap, feeding the pigeons. Bianca Jagger attended my opening night. Carrie and Todd were then in their mid-teens, and when they heard that Mick Jagger had invited me to a party, they were keen for me to go so they could tag along. The party was in full swing when we arrived at Mick's townhouse in central London, crammed with people from the British social scene, as well as friends of the Rolling Stones. As we began to mingle, Mick pulled me aside and cautioned, "Keep the kiddies down here. There's a lot of adult activities upstairs you don't want them to see." Happily, there was a great band playing downstairs, so I didn't have to worry about the huge bowls filled with cocaine spread out like a buffet on the second floor, and any other adult behavior not for teenies, as Mick had described it. We found a lot of folks to talk to. As the evening wore on, we began to see the effects of the upstairs crowd stumbled through the first floor to exit the party. Keith Richards was carried out on a stretcher. Cass Elliot left in the wee hours and tragically died that night at Harry Nielsen's London apartment, where she was staying. I've always thought it was a shame that she went home alone. She might have been saved. Sometime during the party, Todd met a woman, or beautiful young girl, in her late 20s or early 30s, named Elizabeth, a popular name among the men in the Fisher family. Elizabeth owned restaurants in London, and Todd was about to become her main course. Todd was 16, but he was eager to learn the facts of life. I was thrilled that he would have such a lovely teacher. I wished I had had someone other than his dad to show me the ropes. Todd's Elizabeth moved back to the Savoy with us, during the duration of our stay in London. He was quite pale for the next few days, but very happy. Not so my mother, who was outraged when Elizabeth moved in with us. Daddy went back to feeding the pigeons. Somewhere between Todd's joy and Mother's disapproval, we all managed to have a jolly good time.
Well, well, well. I must say, I am also grateful for Elizabeth. She did teach you well. But we were talking about her today, and you were saying, because she was how much older than you? 16. So that's quite an age spread at that time of life, And she not only moved into the Savoy with you, but she came and back to the United States with you.
Right. So she, it warrants, the story is very, my mother, it's fun to listen to my mom because she had a take on it. First of all, Liz was actually the hostess at the Valbonne Club, which is a famous club in England at the time. And it went on for many years. It stayed for a long time. And but she was not the owner of clubs. And so when I saw her at a distance, and Richard Landers was with me, and I was like, wow, she was stunning. My mother used to say she looked like Bridget Bardot, but she was pretty, not as pretty as you. Different, very different. Very, not even in your league in so many ways. But she was fun. Anyway, she came over and sat us, and I got into a conversation with her about World War II, because her father, I found it fascinating. She told me her father was in the Battle of Britain, and I thought all that was fascinating, and it led up to me saying I really want to go look at all the airfields and stuff in England. And so she took me around to show me all these airfields and different things. And then as the day wore on, we had some lunch together, and she took me through these little towns, very quaint little towns, because as you know, they were way outside of England, so they wouldn't be bombed during the war. And we ended up at her house, and I had my mom's car, the Daimler that you saw in that footage just now. Mm-hmm. And we got to her house, and I got out like I was going to say goodnight, like I do with you. And she waved the driver on. And I was kind of like, okay. Because she dismissed the driver, so that meant I was staying with her. And, I was nervous about that, needless to say. And that's how it turned into a very romantic scene. And as my mother pointed out, I was, hardly experienced. I had very little experience besides the Harry Carl hand-me-down and the situation. I had a girlfriend in New York for a little while, but very, very, naive. So, she was really cool to... there's truth to what my mother was saying.
Yeah.
That she did give me quite the education. Once again, I felt, privileged. Some people would call it abuse with that age spread, but I certainly did not feel that way. You've said that a few times, right?
What's that?
That it's abuse at a certain point at the age spread?
When first of all, you were underage. And so, yeah, I do have a problem with that, only because...
But not in England.
No, but it's everywhere, and here's why. It's like why teachers shouldn't sleep with their students. It's the same, because it is abuse. It's sexual abuse, and people think, oh, how cool that would be to, be taught by an older woman, and you're 16 years old. But the truth is that can cause a lot of dysfunction in a human being, and so for that reason, I wouldn't support that.
Well, I just suffered through best I could, and now I will. And I was interested to hear my mother's thing there. You notice how she said, "Well, I wish I had that." Now, I have spent a show earlier where I was talking about my father complaining. Well, first boasting that he had landed, the most famous virgin in the world, right. And then complaining later that she was lousy in bed. And then I went to say, well, whose fault is that? the lover of America who's supposedly this guy, and he doesn't bother to ever, not only not teach or anything, but I went further to say, which may shock people, that my mother never had an orgasm while married to Eddie Fisher. So what kind of lover is that, I ask
And
you?
the ratings just went higher. But it's just,
Well,
that's a bold thing to say.
I don't need to, it's in the book. I have said it before. She was very upfront about it. The man that came through in that department was Bob Fallon. It wasn't even Harry Carl. Hell, 13 years you're married to Harry Carl.
Okay, well, that I understand, I mean,
Yeah.
I get that.
Looking
doesn't-
at him.
You don't look at Harry Carl and go,
Ooh, baby.
I'll bet that he is just smoking hot in the rack. It just doesn't.
Is that what you think when you see me?
Yes. I have to say, but anyway, wow, that's. Do we have more video or?
Yeah, no. What do you think? I'm leaving you on an island here? No. So I wanted to make that clear, though, because I think it's important when you're telling these stories. I mean, they do say some people are going to think, that shouldn't have happened and all of this. But I remember my mother saying to me when we were in the Savoy Hotel, and when Elizabeth and I came to my mother. This is after being locked up in a room in the Savoy for like a week, not coming out in room service. The trays were piling up in the hallway. And my mother at a certain point was like, are you coming up for air at some point? And when I did, I said, we've been talking about it. Elizabeth's never been to the United States, so I'd like to bring her home with me. And my mother was like, well, who wouldn't want to bring Bridget Bardot home with them? It was like, and so she said, well, that makes me a little nervous. I mean, you're not going to fall in love or anything. I don't know how this works long term. And I said, no. She's never been there. I'm going to go watch Evel Knievel jump the Snake River. She's going to come with me on that trip in the RV, because after all, that's the way to test girls. And she failed miserably.
Did she really? She didn't do as well as me in the
Oh,
RV?
man. No. I mean, on a 10-point scale, you would be a 10. She would be a -5. She freaked out.
How can you not love to RV? It is so cool. I mean, I just love doing.
Well, let me paint the picture for you. We're going to Idaho, which is where the Snake River is, and we're going to stop through Vegas because we have a house there.
Now, mind you, I went to work for Evel Knievel.
You were there.
Shortly after.
You might even have been there. No.
Yes, but.
By the way, I have footage of all
No,
this.
I was not
we
at
have
Snake
the
River.
footage. You've seen
But
it.
I went to work for him right after that. Yeah.
All right, so go through Vegas, spend the first night in Vegas. So we go, my mom had a house right on the Desert Inn golf course, but you could still order room service and all that. So we roll up in the motorhome. We have a great evening. We order room service. We go see a show, and we launch out the next day, to continue the journey. And we're driving through the desert, obviously, here in Las Vegas. And I see the way she's looking at the desert. She's kind of freaking out. She comes off from this little green island. Have you ever seen that there's no desert, no cactuses, none of this on that island? She's never been off the island. So she's starting to freak out a little bit. Of course, being 16 years old, I have the sensitivity of nothing. I have no sensitivity, so I don't even hardly notice. Anyway, we drove into the evening, and I looked out the window, and there was amazing stars. So I pulled off the road in the middle of the desert, down some trail, jumped out of the motor. I'm like, oh, you got to come out and see this, man. It's incredible. Look at the Milky Way galaxy. I was like, and she wouldn't come out of the RV. She was literally having a panic attack.
Over the stars?
Over the desert. The idea of pulling over in the middle of the desert was like getting off in outer space. She freaked out. And that was pretty much right there the end of that romance in many ways.
Wow.
So she failed the RV trip, which, of course, now in contrast, when I said to Kat, I like these little RV adventures, she said, well, I don't really like camping. Sent her a picture of the RV. She was like, well,
I've never been in one.
Never been in one, but she saw it. So we went off on a 3-month adventure, and she didn't want to hardly come home. So that's the difference. Oh, you've got the pick. All right, so
So
let's.
this is the very RV that you were talking about, you got when you were 16 and took Elizabeth on the road trip.
Right, this is what became called the Green Weenie, but
Yes.
it was a 1975 GMC motorhome, and of the day, that was top of the line. And so that was pulled over in the desert, made for that kind of shit, by the way. It was perfectly fine. There was nothing. Anyway, long story short, that was how that went. However, prior to leaving, for California, we were filming my mother at the Palladium, of which you just saw some footage that we shot
Yeah, that was great.
of her on stage. Again, we didn't have a budget or anything, so we just filmed with a handheld 16 millimeter camera. But we did film Carrie, and that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to throw you over to Carrie performing Meantime on the stage in London, the first time kind of by herself, a solo performance.
You mean in your mom's show?
In my mom's show, but it's a
solo
solo
song, yeah.
segment. Did 2 songs, I believe. All right.
Okay, that was
Now watch this.
amazing.
This is really cute. Watch her come and look at me. Because I'm saying, look at her. She looks at me. See?
She was incredible. I mean, I never.
Well,
but
nobody's
by the
ever.
time yeah,
No,
by the
let me
time
explain
I came
something.
into the picture, I mean, all the
She was
smoking
refusing to
and,
sing.
Well, and you kill your voice, by not,
Well, we'll never
taking care of
quite
it.
know. But
But
she.
wow, that's all I have to say.
Well-
that was amazing. That was Liza Minnelli right there, if not even a little better.
So just to put things in perspective, the sound when you shot in these days was on a separate reel-to-reel recorder. You shot 16 millimeter film, and you had a roll of tape running on a tape machine. You later put these elements together. Those elements had never been put together until what you just saw. So recently we found the sound elements in the studio, we transferred them, and we put them with the picture, which had never happened before in all these years. So that's the lost Carrie Fisher tapes, where you actually, now you've seen the one in Bright Lights, that was different, that was shot like at the Coconut Grove, I think it was. And that was different, that was a more, I didn't shoot that one, by the way, the
Yeah.
Coconut Grove. My mother hired somebody to do that, but this was just random to be able to find this. So you guys are the first ones to ever see Carrie sing that song, and boy, holy mackerel.
I mean, it's so incredible to me that now this is before the Princess Leia days.
Oh yeah,
So
we're basically 2 years away from that.
yeah, if she had wanted to, what a career she could have had as an entertainer in addition to her acting career. I mean, she could have done every great Broadway musical. Like that voice can handle quite a bit, of different kinds of music. That's what was so kind of impressive, is that she had a voice that was so versatile that she could sing a pop song or a Broadway song. I'm not good with pop songs, you know.
Oh, yes, you are.
Well, I don't think I am. I mean, thank you very much, but I'm trained.
No, that's
for
the deal.
Pop opera. type
The only
stuff.
difference there is that you've spent most of your time singing the other things, but I've heard
Yeah.
I've heard you do just regular songs, and you have a cute, beautiful little voice that can handle all sorts of things.
Well,
I
you-
have to say,
Yeah.
I will interject.
Would you not agree over
I
there?
happen to have a track. Hello, America. I have in the Lost Catherine Hicklin tapes. I have gotten to see a track of you doing a pop version of "Where the Boys Are," which,
Right.
if I
Oh,
may
that's
say,
not. That's a techno version.
it's disco.
It's
quite
it's
fabulous.
it's where the boy. Actually, I will say
Cat
this.
does disco.
Yes, Where the Boys Are has always been one of my favorite songs. So when I was asked to make a techno version of that, I thought, oh my God, I don't know how to do that. But okay, I always say yes.
Because
you figure it out later.
That's
Sure, I'll do
no,
that,
that's
you know?
because there is no can't in your vocabulary.
That's right.
Simple enough.
And it ended up being a really cool campaign for hot men on ABC daytime, because we did have the hottest men on ABC soaps. But Carrie could have been.
Yeah. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that because
I did.
that's the first time it's ever been showed anywhere, anyhow. And I've never even shared that with the HBO people because it didn't have the elements put together. So that's the first time that's ever been aired anywhere.
So Carrie or your mom never even saw this
Correct.
footage.
My mother or Carrie have never seen that. Now they have, but they have never before. No, they saw it in the edit bay when I found it because I was like, oh yeah.
Okay, someone said something interesting. Kate Maloney said, "What I don't understand is how Carrie thought she wasn't very talented and beautiful. Who put those thoughts in her head?"
Well, that's not what happened. What happened is the press kept saying to us, because it happened to me too, I just took it differently. What's it like to be in the shadow of Debbie Reynolds? And so Carrie always got this sort of thing in her head that there was some sort of competition going on, and she couldn't. I ran that interview 2 weeks ago, or no, I didn't. When did we run that interview with the talk show where Carrie is sitting? I get my mom's lap and all that.
That was a couple of weeks back.
Okay, but we have close up camera. We have that though. We have that. We ran that show. You mentioned the name of the guy. The talk show host. Somebody knows
Gary
him.
Collins.
That's
Is that
right,
who it
Gary
was?
Collins.
Yeah.
Now you could look it up
How
on
long
yourself.
was that?
The Gary Collins interview with Carrie and I and my mother.
Our magazine.
Is that what that was?
Yes.
Our magazine. It is amazing because Carrie gets surprised that my mom's on the show. She had just released Postcards from the Edge as a book. And this is the moment that Carrie is breaking out of this thing that you were just talking about, the feeling like she was always competing with my mother, because all of a sudden she had written a hit book. And it was something my mother didn't or couldn't do or wouldn't do. And she had her own identity all of a sudden, and it didn't matter all of this other stuff that had been bothering her. But even in that show, she talked about being not as pretty as, not as funny as, not as talented as, couldn't dance. So there was no end to this sort of idea that you might be competing. So that's why it felt that way. But in the end, it didn't feel that way. It's why she never pursued the Vegas scene, once she got the writing
I
thing
can
going.
understand that now. She wanted to carve her own place, in the world.
But as you pointed out, what did we all miss?
And
We missed.
you
We missed what could have been her doing Vegas. Mm-hmm. She could still write her book. She could have been doing a Vegas show. She
Yeah.
kept trying to talk me into doing it again. I was like, yeah, right. I mean, I'd pretty much, seen all I needed to see of that. I mean, there's not a lot of fun to be had there. You have to love it. So to me, it's
Yeah,
just
you
all
do.
work.
It is a lot of work, and you do have to love it. It's sad to me when I see people doing something that they once loved and they're still doing it and they don't love it anymore.
No, that's no good.
And I see that and I think, oh man, you lost your pal for that. And there's nothing more fun than making your living doing what you love to do.
Right.
Because as people say, you do what you love and you never work a day in your life. And I think that that's really true. And if I stop loving something, I leave it. And, you know, that's, even though I might have to learn to do something new, because it's not worth it.
And you've done that many times. And my mom did it. It's called reinventing yourself, right?
Yeah, and, you know, it's not, sometimes it's because you have to, and sometimes it's because you want to.
But she wanted to. It's
And
like-
I wanted to. So this was, you know, a really, this is what I always like to tell people. Don't be afraid to reinvent yourself. You don't have to be an entertainer to reinvent yourself.
Right.
You don't have to do what you were trained to do or went to school to do, to learn how to do. If you're not happy, find out what you love to do and do that. And you can. And I really believe that you can do that at almost any age.
Now, speaking of that, look what's next to you.
What is next to me?
Look to your right.
Oh,
You're on camera with it.
I
So,
love this.
so there's the outfit you saw my mom wearing in that number.
And
It's also...
I can't touch it because I'm not wearing gloves.
No,
but,
I know.
You know, it is such a fantastic outfit. And,
And there's the outfit and the hat in that picture and other pictures in our
and she
little book.
ended up wearing this in Vegas too, right?
She did. She ended up wearing it in
Yeah.
Vegas. But
And here's the cane.
and the shoes are there.
And
In
let me
fact-
get the shoe.
Those are the tap shoes. Flip them over so we can
you
see the
have,
bottom.
I'll go on this camera over here.
You just a little piece of want to save that.
Okay, I will. So get that camera.
I'll get there. Take a
Okay.
second.
Todd is running everything tonight. We have no cameraman, so yay you, because that is so hard. You're talking, you're showing, and you're flipping all the cameras. There's the tap shoes. They're like little doll shoes. They are so cute. And let me pick up what happened. And then, of course, the hat. May I?
Yeah,
touch
yeah.
it? And also, may I try it?
I would think you should, for sure.
All right. Remove the tissue. Well, she had a little head.
Yeah, it'll be sitting high on your head almost certainly.
How's it?
I think it looks cute.
It's
Look at the
great.
camera. There's
Look
the
at
camera.
Yes. I look like a.
Here's a wide shot.
Boy, she
Wider.
had a
Look-
little head.
Look out at that camera. There you go.
That camera.
Out there, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is cool. But did she? But you know what I like about it? She must have had this hat made for her, didn't she?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Look inside it. Look at the labels.
Yeah, because you can dance, and you know this isn't going to go anywhere. It's got that grip on your head. Let me just put this back. Oh, let me see what it says on the inside. There is no
Right.
nothing.
Why would there be?
Yeah, because they made it.
It wasn't at
Yeah.
Saks Avenue, right?
This is so cool. And to still have these things. You know, I got to say that when you come to our house, I might have had it on backwards. I'm
Won't
afraid
hurt.
to say. I'm tired, okay?
Not gonna hurt a
So,
thing.
but what's going on here is that in our house, we have a museum. Our house is a museum. Every inch of it, if you think about it, you know. Your mom would, if she saw what it has become, she would not believe it, you know, because we always had a lot of her in the house and a lot of history in the house, but now the whole house is a museum, everywhere you look, and I love it because it's like you're surrounded by all this history, and when people come over, sometimes they walk through the front door and there's the museum right in your face.
Well, basically,
and they
have you
cry.
have you seen the movie Night at the Museum? We live there.
That's right. But I love when people.
Things happen. I have occasionally found people tap dancing in the hallway at night.
Uh-huh.
You hear the call of the tap dance wild. But I love that people are moved to sentiment when they walk in and see it, because if they related to it, and particularly all my gay friends that are performers and musical theater performers, and they live in New York, and they come and they walk through that door, and I love what one said. He said, "You don't understand. This is why I got in the business," because he was so moved to tears. And I thought, wow, everybody has a story, and it's cool. I love to share it. So
Well, I would just, not to, I mean, that's very valid, but I would just say there are some heterosexual men like me that also find it very interesting.
there's no doubt about it.
No, but
because,
it's not a
men who
prerequisite.
had crushes on them. But I'm going to say this. It's just the way it is. I was on Broadway myself. Not that many
Straight
in this
guys?
day and age. Yeah, there really aren't.
Well,
Back in the day, I was so
find-
shocked to hear that
let me just say it
Gene
this-
Kelly and Donald O'Connor were straight because it's very rare today, at least in my experience.
I find it, I find people find different things interesting. So, So your friends that are dancers or Broadway
musical
people,
theater singers,
they
yes.
might find the costuming, more interesting. But generally speaking,
Well, they grew up watching those movies.
well, but I mean, so did I.
Well, that's because it was your mom.
Well, but there were plenty of. All I'm trying to say is, sure, different strokes for different folks, but I feel that there are just as many straight people that can appreciate this stuff, and that is also why I expanded.
I didn't say that.
No,
I
no,
just said they
but-
moved to tears, and
Well, and
because of the
I've
connection.
seen that too, but it might be over something different. It might be over John Ford's camera, or it might be over a gun that was used in a movie. You might just have a different moment. I have watched men, straight men, walk into my mother's room and cry.
Really?
Yeah, straight men, not musical
What do
theater
you suppose
personalities.
that was about?
They feel the energy. They feel her
Oh, yeah.
spirit.
You know what? When you walk into John Greer would be a good person to talk about this with because he was here, maybe 6 weeks ago? And, I think he walked into that room and he was just, everyone that walks into Debbie's room, because we have not, of course we clean it all the time, but we haven't moved anything. It is exactly as she left it, including the makeup in her drawers and everything. There is no doubt, not one person that has come to visit here has walked into that room and not walked out and said, I feel something. You know what I mean? I feel it. And Seth feels it all the time.
Sure.
I feel it all the time. Very strong. I think she loved her room, and it's...
Sure.
I mean, we built her I guess you'd call it a suite or a casita.
Sure.
Because she just wanted to have her privacy when she came to visit us, so, but when you walk in there, you can still smell her perfume, you can still feel her, everything of hers is exactly as she left it.
Right. And she was a part of all of this history that you're talking about, so you're going to have an expanded feelings with her as you would with just a single artifact that belonged to someone who never lived here. But the idea that she spent her last days here, these were the things that she loved and they're around you. But I feel that way about all of the things that are around us. I mean, this whole room right here, is filled. Like these are my mother's costumes over there. These are this is partly her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like people, get into it. Look, our sign turned off. What happened?
Our sign.
Oh, it's
there
back.
It is. Okay.
I hate to see our
I just
sign
want to
turn-
say, Disneyland dude, I just saw your text, and yes, so you always have just to get a hold of Ryan at catandtoddlive@gmail.com, and he will, let us know if we're in town. Sure, obviously you
We're
fly.
done with clips, right?
So we are.
We're done.
We are done. You know what's great? We're going to give stuff away now.
Oh boy.
We're going to do the prize wheel, and all you have to do is be in the room and have commented on something if you're on our YouTube channel, because that's the only thing we have access to, because that's the platform that we are taping on. So though you see it on Facebook, if you come to YouTube, you can actually win something. We're about to give away prizes. So if you are, Kyle, go ahead and bring up the prize wheel. There is the randomizing wheel. It is digital. It is spun in a moment, and if you chatted in the room, your name was automatically added to the wheel, so you don't have to have done anything to be part of this contest. And there it is. So we're going to go ahead and give away
The
6
farm.
prizes off of this, and then we move on to the super wheel. Now, let me explain what that is to you. You might notice in the chat that people have been donating to us. There's a donate button right there where you are chatting. And if you donated last week, you automatically are entered on the super prize wheel. So that wheel you have a better chance to win on, and it's always usually something pretty cool. So in fact, it's always something neat and that you would want. So we have 2 prize wheels, and Don't forget to like and subscribe if you do love our channel. That helps us out a great deal for you to like and subscribe, and you also get notifications when we post new things, which we do several times a week, and when our shows start, if we do any special shows. So here we go. We're going to the wheel, and Kyle, go ahead and spin it, and let's see who is
Did he already
first.
do it? He already did it.
He did. Tracelyn George. Tracelyn George, you are the winner of the Miracle Working Muscle Gel. This stuff is incredible. This is from my company, catcosmetics.com. If you don't know about that, it's catcosmetics.com. And this is the travel size of the Miracle Working Muscle Gel, which is going through trials right now. I'm really excited. It's about to go through a doctor's clinical trials because he used this and his arthritis is pretty bad, and he thought that this was the best thing that he had used.
Do you want to run the testimony?
Run his testimony?
I can run his testimony.
Yeah, run the testimony, because honestly, if you ache or your joints hurt, or you know, for me it was when I broke my shoulder in 3 places and I couldn't take painkillers because I'm allergic to everything. So nothing was working for me, and this is how this came to be. And it smells really good too. So there is a testimony that Todd got when he was on vacation because he gave this to the doctor. The doctor's so impressed with it that he is putting it through clinical trials. And so, Tracelyn George, if you have any aches or pains, by the way, I put it on my feet when my feet ache after I finish doing shows or at night. And I put it all over on my legs last night because I had that weird leg thing going on, and it calmed all that down. I put it here. Yes, I ache, just like everybody. I ache and ache. So I put it on my back, I put it on my shoulders, I put it on my feet, my legs, anywhere I need it, and it's great. So Tracelyn George, all I need from you
Here we go. Here's the testimony.
is an address.
Oh boy.
Well, it was a really good one.
No, I have it.
That's right.
I mean, why did I turn off the sound? I don't think I did. You keep going for 1 second.
Oh my God.
No, I have.
We will play that in a moment.
Maybe I just had it turned down.
I just want to say that this is so cool when this happens. Do you know how often this happens, where I mention somebody and then they come up as the winner? Well, I don't know if you know this, but I have.
This is about
Ooh, that was hardcore right there. I'm sorry, everybody.
many hours of no pain and full function.
It's gargly.
I will.
Okay.
I'm
But
just going to
anyway,
get it under control.
I have a mind reading show. I'm a mentalist and a hypnotist, and sometimes my intuition is so crazy, and I think I need to go buy a lottery ticket. Our state doesn't have a lottery, so I would have to drive an hour to the California state line to buy one, which I might just do because winner number 2 is Disneyland Dude 5, and I just mentioned you like 5 minutes ago. So I'm on it tonight. Intuition is happening. Disneyland Dude. You
Here it is.
also have won. Okay, let's see if this worked.
I'm a friend of Todd and Kat's, and I have been using muscle gel for about 4 days for severe shoulder arthritis, bone-on-bone pain. It was terrible. And I had tried, of course, everything that doctors have in pharmacopoeia, and I am amazed that this is about twice as good. I'm having many hours of no pain and full function. It's tremendous. I give it a try.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. And he's about to run the clinical trials, and he wanted to do this on his own. And I'm really excited about that because I could not be more proud of this product. So Disneyland Dude, you are the winner of the second thing. And I'm going to go ahead and take that. That's a yes. Because I believe that you fly for a living. You mentioned layover. So I'm giving you something that I think you're going to go nuts over. This is the Miracle Working Cream to Gel Moisturizer. This is another one of my company's biggest selling products. And men love this so much too, as well as women, because it's a gel, and you put a pump of it in your hand, in your fingers, and you do this to warm it up, and it turns into a gel immediately. And then you can put that on your face, and it tightens up the skin. It fills in the fine lines and wrinkles, and it makes your skin glow so beautifully. I even put it on over my makeup when I'm, halfway through the day. I live in the desert, as you know, and I do that, and I put it on even over my makeup, and it just makes me glow. It's an amazing product. And Disneyland Dude, welcome to the show because you're new to me. And are you familiar with him? I think he's. You have, okay. But you're a viewer. Well, you're now a wiener. How about that? You're a wiener. You have won this. All I need you to do is write Ryan at catandtoddlive@gmail.com and give us your address, and we'll get that out to you on Monday. All right, super excited. Let's go to winner number 3. It is, I'm going to see it on the screen. It is John Eric St. James. John Eric, you need to run out and get a lottery ticket too. And I think you're in Florida. Does Florida have a lottery? I don't know. Do they?
Sure.
Okay. John Eric St. James, you have won the miracle working clarifying hyaluronic serum. So, wait a minute. Is it hyaluronic that you don't want to put on after you shave?
Correct.
Okay. So, I'm wondering if this shouldn't be what I give John. Okay. So, John Eric, the reason that I don't want you. At night after you get out of the shower. Don't use this right after you shave, because it does have hyaluronic acid in it, which is so good for your skin. It is one of the best things for skincare ever, but you don't want to put it on right after it shaves, or it's woohoo time, So we found that out when Seth put it on after he shaved. And what did you say?
Well, let's just say it turned me from a rooster to a hen really quickly.
So, John Eric, before you go to bed at night, this is what you want to put on your skin. It will make it so beautifully soft. And who doesn't want to have good skin? I mean, who doesn't want to have good skin? All right. John Eric, congratulations. You are a winner. And we are moving on to the next winner now. I love giving stuff away. I just think that it's great. I love prizes. I love the concept of prizes. All right. Pamela Lang. Pamela Lang, you have won. Here we go. You have won. Oh, Pamela, you have won one of my favorite lipstick shades. It's called Barely There. And it's a beautiful brown. It's a universal color, so it looks good on everybody. It's a beautiful, you want to do a close-up of that, hon, and put your hand behind it like that so she can see? It's a beautiful brown and pink and tan all put together, which makes it a universal shade. And you have won this, and it's called Barely There, one of our big sellers. It's a beautiful, beautiful lipstick. So, Pamela, go ahead and make sure I have your address. All of you who win, send me your address at catandtoddlive@gmail.com so we can get your prizes out to you on Monday. All right, next prize is, we're going now. And, okay, let's see here. Christy, I didn't see the last name. Was that Christy Bell? Christy Bell! Christy Bell, you have won Todd's book. This is a great prize because if you haven't read it, you're going to freaking love this book. It is so good. It's called My Girls, A Lifetime with Carrie and Debbie, and it's one of my favorite books because I love all of our books because everything is written from the heart. And so this book, though, has got some good stuff in it. And it'll make you laugh, and it'll make you cry, and it's a wonderful book. And Christy Bell, it is yours. So I need your address as well, and then we will get that out to you on Monday. I'm so excited. Okay, I think we're moving on to one more. Remember to write catandtoddlive@gmail.com and let Ryan know your address and claim your prize. All right, and this is the last gift, I think, of this. Go, and it is going to
Canine Crush
Canine
Taurus.
Crush Taurus. I love their handles. They call them Canine Crush Taurus. You have won the book, and it's the book that Todd was showing earlier. Todd, you took all the pictures in this book?
Yes. Well, not all. There's some press photos. Well, just there's a
Yeah.
couple of press photos in there.
But, Todd will be happy to sign it if you want him to, so you just want to comment below if that's something you want. But it's got all the great pictures from the London Palladium time. Is there a picture of your teacher in here?
No, I actually said to Seth, should we put that? You want to see a picture of her?
I do want to see a picture of her. I've never seen what she looks like.
I think I have like a marginal picture.
It only comforts me
No, I
to
have it
know
here.
that she is now in her 70s. I wonder if she still looks like Bridget Bardot.
She does not hold a light to you.
Oh, don't say such a thing.
I am telling you the absolute swear to God truth.
Oh my God, you just love me. That's all there is. About
Well, there's
that.
all of
You
that
just say
as
that
well.
because you love me, and I'm glad about that. All right. Okay. Now we're going on to the super wheel, and so I will want to see that picture when you have it. I don't know if we should show it on the air though, because it's not her choice to be on our show, and I don't know if that's nice to do to somebody. Okay. So the super wheel. There's one winner. Everyone who donated last week on our chat room there, thank you so much. And one of you will now be chosen to win the super prize. And I just realized if the super prize winner is a man, that I'm going to want to think of something else.
Oh, you had said large muscle.
Okay, great. Okay. So here we go. We're going to win. We're going to spin the super prize wheel. And those of you who donated tonight, you will be on next week's super prize wheel. And you will also be on the credit crawl at the end of this show. So you want to make sure you stay and watch that. Elizabeth Gandy. Elizabeth Gandy, if you already have this, I want you to let me know. And if you don't, then this is what's going out to you. But let me know if you already have this, because Elizabeth is a client of Cat Cosmetics. And so let me show it to you. We're going to, Todd, could I get a cam? Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're busy.
Well-
Boom. Elizabeth Gandy, you have won my world famous brush set. This is the Open Sesame brush set. I designed all the brushes on it. And it's every brush you could ever need to make. You take what you have and make what you want. This is one of the greatest brush sets because when you have, there's 9 brushes in here, and when it closes, you can throw this in your purse, and it's not going to get all that nasty stuff on the bottom of your purse on your brush heads. I love this. Elizabeth, let us know if we are to send it or decide on something else for you that you don't have, okay? So thank you, everybody. Before we go, I just want to say on behalf of Ryan, yes. Oh, we have to sign some things. Todd's signing things, is that what you're saying? Okay, Ryan, my iPad died, so I no longer have contact with you. If you want to, I'm going to check while we're doing that. What do you have there? Okay, so we have names, and we're going to sign them on the air. So Todd, get ready. You have to stop looking for that picture to do this.
It's right here in this neighborhood.
Okay.
I have circled in. Do you know what it looks like? Well,
Well,
it's a
if you
single
look for-
shot,
If you look for, a woman that's holding a baby seal really close and has pillowy lips, that's the
no,
picture.
it's a single shot anyway. It was right near where I am.
But anyway, thank you, Maxine. M. Is
Now
that
we-
you, Maxine?
Am I
Moody?
signing the? But am I signing the front, the Palladium?
I think that looks a little busy. So
All right.
you
So
might
how about I
wanna-
sign one of the pictures with me in it?
Okay.
So, but then I would need. So I could. Well, this one here.
Yes.
This is pretty good, right? The one that's a funny one to do.
Yeah, I like that. So go ahead and sign that.
Okay. So give me a thing here.
Okay. The name? I wonder which Barb it is. We have 2 in the room that I'm aware of. Oh, Barb Cavern. I get to see her soon. And I get to do you know what? I did 2 of my Zoom calls today out of my 3 that we sold on the hypnosis episode.
Okay. So
That was fun.
there's Barb's.
There you go, Barb. That's yours.
Okay. What's next?
Ferruccio. Okay, we're doing that one right now. And when you buy something and have it signed, then he does it on the air, and Kyle sends you a clip. So that's the really good thing there. So we have the. Are there others?
And then the last one is going to be to John Greer with just the signature.
Just the signature. Okay, we're the third one. So this is Barb's, no, or is this John's? Oh, you just want the signature. There you go. Great. There you go, John.
We
You didn't
made
show
it.
it on the camera.
John bought the Palladium frame one as well, so he would like the back and the frame.
There
To
you
him
go.
or just signed?
Just signed. I'm loving. So people say, wonderful show. Thank you all for sharing all of your stories and memories.
There's yours, John.
There's John. We want to say it's our pleasure to share our stories and memories. There you go. Because when we share our stories and memories, it keeps everyone with us.
We have it, I'll find it.
It keeps people alive in our
And we may
minds.
never find it.
So
I don't see it.
we're still looking
There's
for
a lot of damn pictures in there.
This is the only Elizabeth I found.
No,
That was
yeah, well, there
that's
is.
the T.
There is
Elizabeth T.
that. There was this shot of Bianca on the paper. That's why I thought it would be in this neighborhood. But anyway, you close it out because
All right.
it's not the big deal.
So I just want to say on behalf, could I have a camera? Thank you. There you go. See, you have to ask.
Well,
with a
we don't know what
please, and I
happened to
thank
Buck
you.
tonight.
I know, we have no cameraman, and you have done an amazing job. So what I want to say to you is, on behalf of Ryan and Kyle, who are back in Pennsylvania, and of course Seth, myself, and Todd, we're so happy to do this show for you. It's our honor, and we love spending our Saturday nights with you. Now, remember to like and subscribe this channel so that you get notified. And one more little thing I want to say before we run the credits. And remember to stay on if you donated tonight, because we have your name on our credits. I'm performing a mentalism and comedy hypnosis show in Pennsylvania, in Annville, April 26th. And you get to meet Ryan and me and get entertained the heckles out of you and laugh yourself silly. And Annville, Pennsylvania is about 15 minutes outside of Hershey, Pennsylvania, for reference. The tickets are, we have a big theater to fill, so the tickets are $15 for adults, which is insanely low, and $10 for students, because we want to fill our seats. It is to benefit the Four Diamonds. And I'm so looking forward to this. If you want more information about tickets, go ahead and go to my website, KatherineHickland.com. Oh, go there anyway. It's a fun site. And you'll see where you can buy tickets. Hey! You'll see where you can buy tickets there at the website. And so, without further ado, I'd just like to say good night. Thank you so much. We love you from our heart. And here come the credits. Thanks, everybody. And good night. Hey, I'm Catherine Hickland. Some of you may know me best from One Life to Live, but I also own catcosmetics.com, only the best cosmetics in the world. I use the Miracle Working Kit on a mother and daughter. It's easy to use, works for all skin types, and comes with a how-to DVD. So if you want to look 10 years younger in less than 5 minutes, or you just want to look more beautiful than you've ever been in your life, come on over to catcosmetics.com and make sure you sign up for special discounts, new products, and inspirations.
The cottonwoods whispering above. Tammy's in love. The old hooty owl, hooty hoos to the dove. Tammy's in love. Does my lover feel what I feel when he comes near? My heart beats so joyfully, you'd think that he could hear. Wish I knew if he knew what I'm dreaming of. Tammy, Tammy's in love.
the editors.